Hello, we're the Malt Miller, and today, as part of our Brew With Us series, we're at Utopian Brewery in Devon. Richard, great to meet you.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks very much for hosting the Malt Miller here at Utopian today.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have you guys down. I'm really happy.
We've been showing around the brewery. Obviously, you've got a hugely professional setup here. It's obviously been some sort of journey for you to get here. Can you just give us some idea of how on earth you ended up with a brewery here in rural Devon, with what we've got around us, and producing some absolutely fantastic British lager?
I guess a quick kind of background. I didn't really start in brewing or beer really, but in the last 20 years I've been involved with the pub industry, so working in bars, on and off ownership, directorships, and operationally working in pubs. But you know, I've been drinking, I'm quite old, I've been drinking beer for a long time.
Yeah.
So I love beer as a consumer, and love beer from the sales side of, you know, making the right beers, getting beers, the experience that the customer has, which is the most important bit, is when they take your pint or your can and they drink it.
And I guess coming from the pub side, you can see what's demanded by the customer, not from the sales guys.
Exactly that. Yeah. And the one thing that was really obvious to us, nobody really doing that in lager. So we knew we had to do that. We knew we needed a good, you know, a very talented brewer with experience. And again, in business, you sometimes rather be lucky than good. And we just lucked out that when we were looking for a brewer, Jeremy was available looking for his next challenge. He's a fantastic guy.
I tell you another thing that was interesting about Jeremy. I've come from a family business, and you know, you look at the team that he's got in there with him. They're obviously a highly talented team, but they're obviously close knit and work really well together as well. And actually, as a visitor from the outside, that comes across really, really well. Yeah,
which is great, but absolutely a part of our core, right? When you look, look our social media handles, they're Team Utopian. And at the time, everyone went, "Oh, what are you doing that for? You should just call it, you have a brewery in there, you know." She said, "Nobody's going to find you." No, it's because we wanted to encapsulate what we are. You know, that's part of our culture, to be a team. We talk about everything. We make, you know, we don't manage the business by committee, but we share a lot. We try and socialise together, and we like each other's company. And that manifests itself in the work ethic then, right? People like being together with each other, they work better. But also, you know, we try and keep what they do interesting as well. You know, everyone works across the piece, everyone kind of brews and packs and does the cleaning and does all the not so glamorous jobs too. And again, we've you know, been fortunate in that we've been able to bring guys in, you know, at the early stage of their brewing life, and so train them up. You know, get those guys and develop them and learn the way that we do it, and it means you don't have to unlearn skills that you perhaps learned somewhere else. So
that personal development is really important within a growing team, within a small business that has got aspirations to be bigger.
Yeah, and you know, at times you're gonna, you know, Jack obviously came in with experience from Benny, but so it's good to have some people with ideas from outside. But generally, if you know what you're trying to do and you're developing your people and your teams internally, I just think it just makes life a whole lot easier in the long term. Some guys have, you know, gone on from that and you know, moved on to other things and started their own. But already we had you know, a guy came through here and finished his apprenticeship with us, and you know, has now gone off and started his own little brewery, and that's fantastic.
That's what it's about.
You know, that's what this is partly about. You know, let's share the knowledge that we got and let more people know how we do this, and let the people that are really interested in doing that will be, you know, some of the guys that are going to try and brew this recipe will be us in 5 years time or 10 years time, and that's brilliant. So it's all part of that journey, and we love that.
Your move to small pack actually turned out to be a genius move because of the way the world, you know, what happened with the world with the pandemic, and being able to get that small pack can be out to customers all over the country. How did you find lockdown and the whole experience?
Small pack always on the plan, and then come, you know, March 2020, so it needs to be a bigger part of the plan. It needs to be a bigger part of the plan, freaking quick. So it was a bit about survival, and then it was, okay, how do we get our beers out to as many people as we can, as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
And part of that was just communicating out the message. Who's going to be the best people to communicate out the message? The writers, the influencers, the bloggers, who, you know, all were prior to that, spent a lot of their time out in pubs talking to people about beer.
Sure, yeah.
But now they couldn't do that anymore. They had to sit at home. So we did actually send out quite a lot of beer to those people.
Yeah.
Said, look, hey, this is us. Try this. No obligation, but if you like it, you might want to say something nice about it.
Richard, can we just touch on the use of your English or UK ingredients?
Mm-hmm.
Where did the idea of that sort of come from?
So, very important part of what our core value is to be as sustainable as we possibly can. So, some things we did in the physicals in the brewery, like the nitrogen generator, which you might be able to just vaguely hear in the background. So we reduced our CO2 use by about 50% from that. Obviously we're on a farm, so we can get rid of our waste product. But the other really big part of CO2 generation in food production is where your ingredients come from.
Yeah.
And so if we use 100% British ingredients, we will absolutely reduce the food miles in our beer. So that was the first driving principle, the reduce food miles, be sustainable. And I did say to Jeremy when he first started, I said, look, this is what we want to do. There are 30 plus varieties of hops grown in the UK. You know, hops in a lot of lagers aren't so important.
Yeah.
You know, we're brilliant at making malt liquor, so we should be able to do this. But if we can't, I'll change the marketing, right? Because first and foremost, we've got to make great beer. And he said, no, absolutely, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, so what's in a pint glass, that's the most important thing.
Exactly. Yeah. If we can make that really good with British ingredients, that's what it is. He said, we can do that, and that's what we will do. And then it gets really interesting. Well, I think it's interesting. I think everything's interesting here. But so you've made a decision, and you're going to go 100% British ingredients. Then we've got, oh, yeah, that's really difficult. Because if you want to make a Pilsner, you've got to use SARS. Actually, look at it the other way. So if I get SARS, I can make a Pilsner. Don't just chuck it in. It'll be like a Pilsner. If you haven't got SARS, you've got to work a bit harder to create that flavour profile. So you've got to work a bit, spend a bit more time rubbing hops, working out hop combinations, looking at different combos to get that flavour profile that you want. So possibly you understand those ingredients better than the guy who's just gone, right, we'll buy some Pilsner malt and we'll buy some SARS and we'll make a Pilsner, because you've had to work out how to get that flavour. So first and foremost, absolutely about sustainability and food miles. But now we love it because we're kind of working with the hop suppliers and the growers maybe, and how to and with the malt, the stuff which you know is very much part of this.
The tie-up with Warminster's been fantastic.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we'd hopefully do more of that.
Yeah.
And just keep kind of checking it, and then hopefully people will get it. People will get, you can, you know, not all beer has to be earthy just because it's made with British hops.
Well, and you're proving that, you know.
And if more people get that,
styles.
more people will brew with them. And if more people brew with them, more hop growers will grow them. And then they'll spend more time on developing all the things that you need to do in terms of mold resistance and yield. And so they'll become cheaper and that will be kind of hopefully self-fulfilling.
Well, I can't thank you enough for our time here today, to sharing the recipe with us, letting our customers being able to have a go at brewing the beer is absolutely fantastic.
Look, it's been absolutely fabulous having you guys here today. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. We love what you do. It's great getting exposure out and giving people opportunities to brew, you know, the beers that they can buy commercially. We hope you all have some real fun doing that and feed it back, and we look forward to trying a few of those too.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thanks for coming, guys.
No worries.
Cheers.